In these challenging economic times where the fiscal cliff is looming and Wall Street is in flux, people are worried about saving enough for retirement. David Scranton is the founder of Advisors Academy and Scranton Financial Group, as well as the author of Stop the Financial Insanity, How to Keep Wall Street's Cancer from Spreading to Your Portfolio. He's here with tips for cutting through the confusion so that you can plan comfortably for your retirement. David, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Let's talk about your business model. It's kind of unique.
I like to tell people that I specialize in everything other than the stock market. In other words, we specialize in the universe of income-generating strategies.
Okay, and how'd you develop that?
It all started because I had been a stock market-based investment advisor, like most, back in the heyday of the 1980s and 1990s. But I'd also been a pretty good student of stock market history and historical cycles and trends. And I had realized that we were about to come to the end of the good time, and the market was going to turn. And when it did turn, it was probably going to be about 20 years in a bear market before things got better.
Got it.
And in the spirit of trying to do what's best for my clients, I changed my business model right in the late 1990s.
Okay, now why do you say history is relevant and important when making investment decisions?
History is the thing that got me to draw this conclusion, and quite frankly, you know, when you go back nearly 200 years in the stock market, you find that every time we have a bull market cycle, a good market period, it's usually about 15 years, you know, give or take a little bit. And every time we get into a bear market cycle, it's usually about 20 years or so, or even a little bit longer. And when I talk about a bear market, what I mean is an extended period of zero growth accompanied by a lot of market volatility.
Okay, and how consistent are long-term market cycles? They're repeatable, they're predictable?
These cycles are very repeatable and very predictable throughout history. As I said, going back as much as 200 years, yes.
All right, now what's the difference between economic cycles and long-term market cycles?
A lot of people talk about economic recoveries, recessions, and so on, as if that's the major thing that fuels the stock market cycles. And you have to understand that in a 20-year bear market, you have good economic times and you also have bad economic times. But that bad stock market cycle, that bear market, is much more powerful than even the good economic times. That's why I call it a biorhythm, because it's something that's much bigger than any particular economic cycle.
Okay, and Dave, what do you mean by growing your money the old-fashioned way?
You know, traditional investing has to do with investing with the stock market. And I often say that an investor is crossing his fingers and or toes, hoping to get growth or capital appreciation. The problem is sometimes capital appreciation, as we found out since the turn of the century, can turn into shrinkage instead. So investing the old-fashioned way is investing for income. That income can be used today and spent if someone needs it, or it can be reinvested to grow your money, as I say, the old-fashioned way, or growing it organically.
Got it. Now, why did you decide to write the book?
I wrote the book out of frustration that my peers, and I don't mean peers locally, but it seems to be across the country, have an ability to bury their heads in the sand when the market turns bad. They just tell their clients to stay in there, hang in there, and stay the course. And actually, what's interesting is when the first drop happened since the turn of the century and the subsequent recovery right around 2006, I'd hoped that a lot of my peers would change their business model as I did. And I saw that they just hadn't done it. So at that point, I actually started a company called Advisors Academy, where we teach and train and provide research for other advisors. I thought that would have some effect. Unfortunately, it didn't. The second drop happened in 2008 and 2009, and subsequent recovery, and it seemed as though most of my peers were still burying their heads in the sand. And that's when I decided that if I really want to get the word out to the public about how predictable and repeatable these cycles really are, then I need to write the book.
Got it. All right. Now, what are some of the benefits of working with a financial professional?
Well, everybody is emotionally attached to their money. Sure. And that's why oftentimes people make the wrong decisions. You know, buying low and selling high is a really simple concept, but it's not easy because the human mind gets in the way. The idea is that a financial advisor is somebody who should be emotionally detached from your money, which means they should be able to make good, or at least help you make good, logical, informed decisions. And they also should be able to educate you. See, a good financial advisor is kind of like a coach. a coach can't play the game, but he can try to get the most out of his players.
Sure. All right, well, where can we find your book, Dave?
Our book is available on Amazon.com or by calling my office in Westbrook, Connecticut.
Very good. You also have some adult education classes coming up?
Yes, yes.
And you need to pre-register. Is there a cost associated?
Yes, there's a cost associated. That's set by the school. We're teaching one at Clinton High School and one at Old Saybrook High School here on the shoreline.
Very helpful. All right, for more information on Scranton Financial Group, call 866-646-7600 or visit scrantonfinancialgroup.com. Again, thanks for being here.
Great, thanks for having me.
All right, coming up next, the faux Martha shares her chocolate and peppermint recipe she calls Christmas in a cookie. Stay with us. More style after the break.